From Las Vegas, it's Dry Heat with Mike Davis.
Great to have you guys with us. I am joined in the studio right now by one of the coolest. I mean, you guys think I'm cool, and then you're going to see this guy, and you're going to be like, Mike, what are you talking about? You're not a cool guy at all. One of the coolest dudes in our town, one of the most talented guys. You can't put him in a box. People try.
Thank you. And I keep kicking the walls down.
I love it. It's DJ Ashba. You know this guy, Ashba. He's been with, solo work, Guns N' Roses, stuff with Nikki Sixx.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 a.m., all this great stuff. Now at the Fontainebleau,
Yes.
Pitbull. I
Yes.
mean, Dolly. This guy is going to be a special guest playing, opening with Pitbull, Vegas After Dark residency, Fontainebleau. You guys want to make sure you see this March 7th, 8th, 12th, 14th, and 15th. DJ Ashba. It's great to finally have a long-form conversation with you. How you doing?
I'm amazing. Busy, but, I'd have it no other way.
You do a little bit of everything. I mean, you would think just to get to the apex of an industry where you can be playing guitar in the role where Slash has played in that role.
Yes.
You're at the highest of the highs, yet you still got so many other things you're working on. You got a golf club behind you.
I do. This is Golf Pubs, and it is the first golf club that, I created this, invented it. And it basically brings sports and spirits together. So the cap comes off.
Oh, my Lord.
I don't want to get your
So somebody's
thing all
getting
wet.
fired, but it's okay.
But it's really cool. It's a reverse thread. So basically, this comes off. It's a custom design, easy to travel with. And we have freezer bags that keep all your drinks, beverages.
Because that's the type of golf I'm not playing Tiger Woods golf. I'm playing go get screwed up on the golf course and have some fun kind of golf. So that's
first club in history to get FDA approved, all the approvals.
Really?
Yeah, because human consumption and.
Well, you know what's so fascinating? Because I'm seeing you work that whole contraption, and you even did a video once with the Grammys and the Academy show, because you've built a guitar and kind of custom designed even to your liking where you want all the inner workings and the design elements to come together. So here's what's so crazy. I mean, how can you be good at so many different? How can you be like an engineer? All these different things, because even guys, listen to this. Your company is not, you're not only just opening for Pitbull and a special guest, your company developed the stage that Pitbull is going to perform on at Fontainebleau.
Yeah, we built everything on the stage, in the ceiling, the lighting, everything.
And this is Ashba Studio.
Ashba Studio's been around 22 years, and we have done stuff for replica rockets for NASA, for space museums, to Nike for the Super Bowl, to the Shoei, big famous Shoei bar for F1 for Red Bull at the Bellagio. You can see it every year.
That is so. Wait, just break this down, because if I were you, I would not be worried about other work. I'd just be worried about girls and music. Why as a rock star did you want to do other things beyond just party and the girls and the music?
It's always been art and music my whole life. From when I was little, I'd be drawing on my mom's walls with crayons. To that developed into having my own cartoon and a newspaper, to eventually, building this crazy empire that it's turned into.
It's you're like an entrepreneur. So growing up, you're a Midwest guy. Your mom was a classically trained pianist. Yeah. You had your first recital at 5, and then you really start doing a lot of the custom, even how you built a guitar, you built this club, you built trash cans and pots and pans were your first drums.
Yes.
So a lot of those things all make a lot of sense. And then your 16th birthday, your dad takes you to go see Motley Crue, which is ridiculous, because ladies and gentlemen, for you to be so moved and for that to be the inciting incident that leads you to play music, to then end up playing in a band with Nikki Sixx
and producing and writing songs for Motley Crue.
Isn't that do you ever think about how it could have been any other group of all time? How do you even make sense of that?
It was weird, because up until I grew up without a TV. So all we had in school was magazines. So you'd look up to these guys holy crap. It was a false sense of reality. They were just fairy tale.
You didn't have a TV?
No, very religious family. I wasn't allowed a TV. So it made me creative. I had no, otherwise I would have went insane. So I was constantly creating things to keep me busy. Because otherwise,
your stimulation, like nowadays, kids have too much stimulation. Yes. You had no stimulation. I
had none. Cornfields everywhere.
Well, now that makes sense because eventually, I didn't even know what this term was. Detasseling corn. Yeah. We don't do that in New Jersey or Philly, where I'm from. You took your first job detasseling corn to buy your first guitar out of a Sears catalog.
Yeah, I detasseled corn all summer long. To buy my first guitar out of a Sears catalog for $182, and which I thought was awesome until I grew up, and then I was like, wait a second, I detasseled all summer for $182.
But dude, you know what? Like that's why reading your story, and I think like I don't know. I mean, listen, people put you in a box. They think the tattoos, the look, the whole thing, like they just assume whatever they assume about you. But you're such a fascinating guy because to have that level of intensity and passion for a career and to want to spend a summer detasseling corn just so you can get your hands on a guitar. Do you think that's such a prerequisite for becoming like expert level? Because there's parents out there today, it's like they want their kids so badly to be DJ Ashba. You know, it's like they're buying every guitar they can to give to their child so they have all the resources. But maybe it's not really about the resources. It's about the drive.
It's the determination. I've always had this incredible... You know, it's weird when I meet people nowadays and they're like, I still don't know what I want to do for a living. When I was born, ever since I can remember, I knew what I was going to do. I didn't know I was going to play in Guns N' Roses or to the level it went, but I've never not known what I was going to do for a living.
At
I knew
16,
it would be
you knew
playing.
that.
I knew at 4. I like when I was on a piano, I was 3 years old. So I've always known that it was going to have something to do with art and music. Because those were my passions.
And what do you mean you know that? Because like I had a similar thing in 4th grade. I knew I was going to be a talk show host. I wanted to be like Allen Iverson and like Eric Clapton or like Santana or something. And then I was like, no, I want to be like Howard Stern or like David Letterman. Yeah. And then I felt that. But what is that feeling? Because it's like because I didn't have anybody, hey, here's a talk show. I didn't know anybody who had a talk show. Yeah. So it's like, how do you know you want to do something, yet you have no clue with the roadmap how it's going to happen?
Because the thought of being a fireman or a policeman, no other thought. I was like, I told my girlfriend when I was in 6th grade, I'm going to move to LA and become a rock star one day. I knew it from the time I could, think back to remember, but it's like, I just didn't know to what level, but my passion was so deep for music and art.
See, that's so, see me in 6th grade, and I like the fact that you had the girlfriend because it wasn't to get girls. You already had the girl.
No, I didn't even know you could make money at music for 20 years or get girls.
It wasn't like, because a lot of people like me, I would want to be a rock star for the girls, for all the other but you're just saying
weirdly,
no.
I never got into it for any of that. I got into music way before I knew what girls were or money was, and it was just always a passion that drove me. It was never about the money and the women. And in fact, I've always been known for being in very long relationships, but currently single. But yeah,
it's crazy. So so paint this picture. So you have this drive, you have this affinity. Clearly, you have a little bit probably of musical DNA in your blood from your mom.
Yes,
I
think so. Yeah.
So you have that, and you have the drive, and then you pack up and go to LA and Hollywood at 18. So, but you don't have a game. So what's the game plan? Like, how are you going to make this happen now?
Well, all I knew is I knew this band from Chicago that lived there.
Okay.
And they said I could stay with them. Immediately, they put me in their little cover band, and we played everywhere, up and down the West Coast, like every little bar you could think of. And so that was kind of my start.
More Dry Heat after the break. You're watching Dry Heat with Mike Davis.
Can you read music like you're a
No, I can't. I can't. It's weird. I can't. I used to be able to when I was young. I can't read music. I don't know theory. I've always played just by heart, like whatever feels and sounds good.
So like when you were listening, like Eruption or something, you would just hear, Dance the Night Away. So your dad takes you or to Motley Crue, you're listening to, Eddie Van Halen, and then you could just by ear play.
I learned by ear. So, I learned by rewinding CDs and, taking the record back. And listening and really honing in your ear as a kid. And I write 60-piece orchestra parts for movies. I scored an Eli Roth movie.
Oh, wow.
I produced Neil Diamond and wrote an orchestral piece for his Christmas record.
Really?
And he had a real orchestra come in and replay it. And it was awesome. You know, a guy came in that wrote all the charts out, you know.
Man, yeah. that's so cool. So it actually makes a lot of sense now, this marriage between you and Pitbull at Fontainebleau, because to be honest, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
You know, in that, you know, before EDM even got to where it is, but he was ahead of his time. But the cool thing is he always had a musical, it was heavily produced stuff, you know, that had a musical quality.
And he blends genres. And I love that about him. Like he doesn't see, much like myself, I hate the walls around genres. I don't like that, oh, it doesn't fit into this box.
Right.
A great song's a great song if it moves you. I've been moved by country songs to Christmas songs to, if it's a great song, it's a great song.
What makes a great song? What are the components?
I think it's just something that you feel. It's hard to explain it, but you feel it. You know, it creates an emotion.
So can you sit, like, that's what I'm so curious. Like, can you sit down? Because you're such a sciencey, like, you know, engineer type of guy. So I'm trying to figure out how your brain works. Because, I mean, look at that. Look what the contraption you made with this club. So it's, I mean, you're putting pieces together. So you can't really just sit down and say, I'm going to write a hit song tonight. Like,
no.
you
really can't.
You can't just put together the pieces and say.
There's somewhat formulas, but no. It's writing a hit song. You might write 1,000 songs before that one magic, but when that magic song pops through you, and it channels from somewhere else, you know, but you know before it even becomes a hit.
Why does you know, Zeppelin or, you know, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, why do these groups have multiple hits, you know, major catalogs, and then King Harvest has Dancing in the Moonlight, or like, you know, why are there one-hit wonders?
Well, a lot of one-hit wonders. It could have been where they had somebody else write their song for them. There's a lot of those scenarios where there's a lot of ghostwriters in the world, and, you know, they get a big hit song, and, you know, and the artist forgets he's not the one that wrote it and gets cocky, and they don't want to work with him again. You know, so who knows? You know, hit songs are not easy. You know, if they were, everybody'd do it.
Dry Heat with Mike Davis will be right back.
You go see Motley Crue when you're 16, you become friendly with Nikki Sixx. When you start meeting your heroes on this journey, like, what is that even? I mean, as a little kid, you must have grew up, you know, you got to play with Axl Rose. You got to play with, you know, Duff McKagan. So, like, when these people are on posters or magazines in your room, and then you finally are, like, with them.
It's surreal when you stop me and make me look back and think about it. But when it was happening, it just felt like, this is normal.
You always felt like you deserved to be there. Like, you didn't.
It's part of my journey. It felt right. It didn't feel like, oh my God, I'm in a room with Axl. It's just we were, you know, we became great friends.
Because some people have imposter syndrome. That's like a big thing amongst musicians, right? You never got that.
I've never been starstruck with anybody.
You know? no, there's not one dude.
Maybe Elvis if I met him. So.
Wow. What was it like in Guns N' Roses? Tell us, I mean, there's literally just a handful of people who know what that juice feels like to be on stage playing those songs. I mean, Motley Crue is cool, but it's not the same level of songs as, I mean, Guns N' Roses, like, you know, grandmas know every word to these songs.
Yeah.
You know, what is it like?
Both great bands, but it's a trip, you know. You know, I had no idea, you know, the magnitude. Yeah. You know, Guns N' Roses is big, but getting out there and playing stadiums for 7 years, it's like, you know, it was.
What does it feel like?
It's
like,
just
tell
on
us.
A different level, you know.
What does that feel like?
Private jets and the best hotels and the, you know, security.
But not even that stuff. Just the music, to be on stage playing that.
You've never felt
it's better
energy in your body like that. To see playing for Rock in Rio, opening, you know, headlining Rock in Rio, 250,000 people, and it's just you know, people as far as you can see. It was just surreal.
It's so crazy because getting to talk to you now, like I was almost like, you know, to me, I think so many people would be like, man, I'm now the lead guitarist for Guns N' Roses. How am I stacking up to Slash? You know, but you're so even your posture, you're so like put together and self-confident. You probably never even questioned yourself.
I never
once.
thought about it. All I was doing was coming in to try to do whatever I could to do the, you know, job justice. You know, I stayed as true to what Slash had originally written. And just out of respect for Slash, you know, and the fans, that's what they want to hear, you know. So if Slash wasn't in the band, then I'm gonna try to mock it as close to, you know, so the fans feel like they got their money's worth.
At what point, how much practice did it take after you're, you know, detasseling Korn and you go to the, I can't believe you're even old enough to know what a Sears catalog is.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, but I mean, like, whoa, but you look super young. So to go through all that practice, I mean, at what point did you actually become like, how many years of practice does it take?
It didn't take long. It took probably 21 years. Before I started making money.
but I'm saying, like, where you're at, like when you show up and you're 18 in Hollywood, were your skills at par so you could play in any group, or you had to really playing those covers and grinding, you learned stuff?
I'm still learning stuff today, you know, and I always said, you know, the minute you think you can't learn anything else, you stop progressing. So I have the mindset that I want to learn something new every day. Whether it's on a guitar or business or, you know. Yeah. I love learning new stuff.
It's so cool. You got so many things in the works. So, all right. So Ashba Studio. So you're doing a bunch of different stuff. Ashba All Access. This is going to be, I mean, who doesn't want to just see the behind inner workings of your life? So learning about this show, when did you first move to Vegas? Because you're so
15 years ago.
So why Vegas?
It's always been my happy place. This is the dumbest thing, but I was on tour with Guns N' Roses and I was ready to buy my first house. And, you know, I looked around LA a bit and I was like, God, you know, I'm going to live in a shit box for fucking, you know. So I was like, let's go to Vegas. Great tax cut, you know, and all that. And I always loved Vegas. And so I bought my house, went on tour, came back 8 months later, and my pool, fountain, everything was froze over. I had no idea it got cold here. Oh. Every time I visited, it was like the perfect weather.
Right.
And it was just by coincidence. I'd never come when it was cold for whatever reason over the many years and had no idea, did zero homework. And, but yeah, I absolutely fell in love with the town. And
you're just a true, like, because I've been here 6 years and you're just one of the staples of our community and such a, you know, a player in Las Vegas. And, you know, it's a special thing. So Ashba Studios, now you got this whole all access. It's going to be like a mini series of like
a docu-series
of like all the things happening. So what are, like, we're going to get to see the inner workings of, you know,
my brain. Pretty much, yeah.
Really? What is this? What is it like living in your brain?
You don't get much sleep.
Do you even?
I'm constantly creating. I can't shut it off. I sleep probably 4 hours a night, and I love it though. I've surrounded myself with incredibly talented people, and that's how I get so much stuff done. I can't take all the credit.
So for you to be able to actually translate and run a successful business where you can actually evoke to other people, okay, listen, this is what's happening in my brain. I got to be able to communicate this to somebody who might not have my brain, but we can execute it. That's a pretty special thing, you know? That's interesting.
There's people that can put trash in a can. There's people that put trash on the lid of the can. So I try to surround myself with people that can actually put trash in the can.
That's so interesting.
To where you don't have to hold their hand through the whole thing. They kind of They kind of get your brain a bit, you know.
More Dry Heat after the break.
Mr. Jack of all trades. That could be you. You can do a little bit of everything. Guys, March 7th, 8th, 12th, 14th, and 15th here at the Fontainebleau. You want to make sure you go see this great show on display. Beautiful venue, and you're going to get to see the great DJ Ashba do his stuff. DJ, I mean, it's great to see you. I mean, congrats. We got to tell everybody, I mean, golf pubs.
Golf pubs, yeah.
That's a good concept right there. Show us one more time how that baby works.
So it just basically, you just take off the lid and
look at that.
Oh.
What is that? What is that?
I don't want to
Poland
get water
Spring
everywhere, but yeah.
Or tequila.
It's got water. I would never waste, you know.
The goods.
Yeah. But it's a great club. This thing is just pro as it gets.
Okay, what we're gonna do is after the residency, all this stuff, we'll get back with you in the summer.
There we go.
And we're gonna have a pro golfer come out with us.
I would love
to do it. That would be a fun little segment we could do. That would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely love it because it is such a good club. The quality, everything about it is just awesome.
Does it, even after all those years, does it get like when you have to play Welcome to the Jungle? Would you be like, oh God, we got? I
throw some dance versions of Guns in my set. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I'll open up with some fun stuff.
Who, if you could have played with anybody, is it Elvis? Like the one you said that'd be the one person who would starstruck you. Is there any other
live bands?
Yeah,
it would have been Guns N' Roses.
Really?
Yeah, I loved him as a kid, and I cut my teeth on people like Slash, and you can't, of course Van Halen, but you can't do Van Halen. That's the one band that wouldn't work. So outside of Van Halen, it would have been Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
Elvis.
Yeah.
You're talking not around, but yeah.
Gotcha. Listen, this is a guy who lived the dream, the American dream. He detasseled corn, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know what that means. I think you're just ripping.
Pull the tops out.
That's right. Okay. There you go. A
6
Midwest
in the morning,
guy.
freezing cold.
You cut your teeth, you lived the dream, and you're still doing interesting stuff.
Just getting warmed up.
You can't fit them in a box, like we said at the beginning of the interview. Any last words? Anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for having me on. This is great.
We love it. We'll have
you guys
to have
have always been supportive of everything I've gone after and done, so thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for watching Dry Heat with Mike Davis. Go to our YouTube page, Silver State Sports, to hear our complete interviews.